What we are going to work on now is a few yoga stretches for releasing tension in the neck and upper back and shoulder area. So let's get started. We'll start with two crucial poses for this area. First, we're going to do Garuda Asana. Garuda, named after the great eagle or the great bird, is done. Take one hand over the other, and when you're doing the pose, try to cross as much as you can. The act of crossing releases the trapezius behind you. And then slowly wrap around and bring your hands into Namaste. So this is the position. If you can't get it, I'll show you what to do as an alternative. But in the meantime, the action is so. Coming with the arms into the center of the body. This is what it looks like from the front. My dear, could you stand, please? And now, if you turn around, I'll tell you how to work. Between the shoulder blades and between the neck and the shoulder blades and over here till about T12, you form this kite shape. I want you to bring your mind into this whole area and inhale into the area. So when you inhale, feel the muscles puffing up, inflating. So inflate the muscles on the inhalation. Then on the exhalations, move the shoulder blades away from each other and towards the elbows. So wrapping the shoulder blades around the rib cage on the exhalations. So actually physically wrap them. Yeah, that way, yes. So on the inhalations, inflate. On the exhalations, extend these muscles. Work in this for about 3 breaths. And then gently release the interlock. Beautiful. And then we change sides. And again, the same thing. Bringing the mind into this kite shape. Inhaling to expand. Exhaling to extend and wrap around so that the shoulder blades are moving towards the elbows with each exhalation. Since our focus for this session is on this area, I'm not going over the other details for the legs or for the positioning of the hands, etc. It's this area that I want you to focus on to relieve the tension that is vested there. After 3 deep breaths, my dear, slowly let go. Voila. So that's Garuda action. Now we're going to do Gomukh action. So Gomukh, Go means cow and Mukha is face. So this pose is named after the position of the cow when it is chewing cud. So take the left hand from underneath, if you don't mind turning around. Take the left hand from underneath and the right hand from the top. And interlock your hands like so. I'll give you the alternatives in a minute. So this is the positioning with the back of the lower hand on the spine. Now in this pose, you have to do 3 actions with each shoulder blade. With the right shoulder blade, you go up, glide the shoulder blade up towards the ceiling. Then move it away from the spine. and then wrap it around the rib cage towards the front. So again, as you're working, think in your right shoulder blade, move it up, away from the spine, and around. And the left shoulder blade, move your left shoulder blade towards the spine, down, and into the body. So those are the movements that you have to focus on to start to unwind the patterns in the body. Now, if you turn around, my dear, if you do the pose correctly, the whole body will become crooked, because this side is going up, this side is going down, this side is going in, this side is going out, and that is the shape of the cow chewing cud, going sideways. So this pose is not a symmetrical pose. It's often done as a symmetrical pose, and that is incorrect. And once you have held this pose for about 3 deep breaths, slowly release and change sides. So as you're doing it at home, remember that this shoulder blade, the upper arm shoulder blade, has to go away from the spine, up, and wrap around forward. This shoulder blade has to move towards the spine, down, and move into the rib cage from the medial border. That means the inside edge. And as you do the movements correctly, you'll find that this arm starts to rotate this way from the shoulder. And that's what we are looking for. As you practice, let the triceps start to rotate to face forward rather than sideways. And also, be very conscious that this elbow is not dropping out to the side. So keep it close to the body. And again, after 3 deep breaths, slowly let go. So that is the ideal form. Now, if you cannot wrap around in the first pose, then the simple thing to do is to simply hug yourself. Yeah. And I mean really hug yourself. Just imagine that you're in love with yourself physically, and you just hug it and hug yourself and hug yourself and hug yourself. And then, as you hug yourself, you do the same thing. Bring your mind into this area. Inhale to expand. Exhale to extend. And then, of course, you change arms. Stick the other arm on top. And hug, not above, but sideways. There you go. Yes. Yeah. And again, inhale to expand, exhale to extend. So that's the modification. And now, if you don't mind turning. So if you cannot hold the hands from the back, let's give an option for that. I'm sorry, could you back the camera? Take the right arm from the top. Now what you do is you place the belt around the back of the wrist like so, and hold it between the thumb and the index finger. This is a very stable grip. And then use the other hand underneath to hold as far as you can. So this is the alternative for those of you who cannot hold the hands themselves. Just take a belt around the back of the wrist, pass it through the thumb and index finger, and then hold from the bottom. Then the actions remain the same. And and then slowly release. So that's the alternative if you cannot catch. These two actions, Garuda and Gomukh, are the primary classical actions in the practice of asana for unwinding tension in the neck and upper back and shoulders. Now we're going to do a modification that I designed many years ago for releasing the stress that is tied in the upper trapezius, in the levator scapulae, and in the rhomboids over in the upper arm side. So take a belt and put it around yourself, like so. So the belt is in a loop. It's going over this upper trapezius, touching the neck right here, touching the neck right here. And the grip is such that it is going through the thumb and index finger and the outer edge of the palm, like so. Then what I would like you to do, my dear, is to catch this end of this strap and tighten it. Tighten it. Bend your right elbow and tighten the strap. There you go. And then again straighten your arm. And then tighten the strap and straighten the arm until you find that it is so tight you can just barely straighten the arm, and there's a lot of pressure over here. So once the strap is as tight as you can possibly do, then straighten and bend and straighten and take the slack off bend, just a slight bend. Yeah, exactly. Now as you do that, you'll feel the pressure building over here. That is the first step. Now we do the second step. My dear, could you turn and face me, please? Now, when you straighten, I want you to hold further back on the belt. There, yeah. Like that. So the belt is coming out from the outer palm and between the thumb and index finger, just like so. And see, she's holding it around the back of her hip. Now keep the elbow straight and gently move the belt forward, rolling the muscles back. That's enough. Yeah, just a little bit. And let's do that again. And forward. Now hold it right there. Hold it forward. There. Yeah. So if you observe, what has happened here is that the trapezius have rolled back, the levators have rolled back. The levators levate or lift your shoulder blades, and that's what causes this roundedness. So we are undoing that roundedness and tension by moving the strap this way when she pushes the hand forward. And then gently release. Now you do not have to change the length of the strap because you have the maximum tightness already established. Just change sides. So take it off. Yeah. It'll have to go off completely up this way. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. So as you're doing it, make sure the strap is crossing the palm. So it's coming out from here, index finger and thumb, and the back of the palm, not from here. It has to cross the palm, just like so. And then you're going to pump a few times, just as before, but just a small bend. Yeah. And just take the pressure off. That's it. And then straighten. And take the pressure off. 3 times is good. Then slide your hand back so that you're holding the strap much further back near your buttock area. Then get a grip and trying not to slip, move the hand forward. You'll know that you're getting it when you suddenly get this feeling of, oh, that feels good. My muscles are being pulled back, because that's the intention of moving this forward, is actually to move this back. Only hold for 2 or 3 breaths, otherwise your arm will start to go numb. And then release, and then change sides. Beautiful. And again, catch from the back. There you go. Straighten. Lovely. So once you have straightened, now we're going to do the same thing we did before, which is to move the arm forward, pulling this back. Now, if you remember, when we did the theory of the neck, we talked about the movements of the neck. Here is where you're going to do the movement. So after you've pulled the arm forward, keep it where it is, and then slowly move your nose towards me. And you'll feel the stretch on your neck. Come back to the center. And then slowly move your nose towards me. And you'll feel the stretch. And come back to the center. And then slowly tip your head to the right. And come back to the center. And then let go. You don't tip the head to the left in this case. And just swap. And as you practice this on a regular basis, as with everything I have taught, it'll take some time to get used to it. But when you do it and practice it, you will know you've got it properly when, after you're done, you feel like you've got a new neck. There's a freedom that your head is more connected to your body and it feels less connected to your body because it's more free. So again, with that movement forward, then we're going to do two actions. The first is the twisting. And then only one tilt, which is away from the strap. Yeah. So stretching out the very muscles that you are holding. And then back to the center. And then release. So we've done it once. At home, feel free to do it any number of times until you can feel, oh, this feels so good. Why didn't somebody teach me this before? There's that sensation, isn't it? It feels so good in this area. The last thing we're going to work on for releasing the tension in this area is called shoulder rolls. And there are 3 types of shoulder rolls. I'll work with you on this one. So if you could follow me. I want you to roll the right shoulder by moving the shoulder blade clockwise. So as viewed from this side, it's clockwise. And then do the same thing with the other arm. So that both shoulders are rolling clockwise but alternately. One up, the other down, the other up, the other down, the other up, the other down. Now when you do it and you're comfortable doing it, you're doing what you can do and therefore there's no change happening. You have to go to the place where you're uncomfortable, where you're going as far up as possible. So when you're going up, let your shoulder touch your ear. And when you come down, let it go way up, and this one go up and touch your ear, and make it go really high up and down, and high up and down. Yeah, exactly. And then the same thing in reverse, counterclockwise. Big movements of the shoulder, big. So now you're engaging the muscles that you released. Engaging the muscles that you released earlier. So after about 9 rolls, please stop. And then we are going to now confuse the muscles into relaxing. So what we did just now was what we could do. Whenever you do something that you can do, you are re-emphasizing a neural pathway between the area and the brain. When you do something that you have not done before, or what you cannot do, then you are creating a new pathway, a new neural pathway between that particular set of muscles and the brain. So we're going to do something that is a little confusing for the body, and if it is easy, then we have to figure out something else. So it has to be confusing for the shoulders and the tension in there to relax. So I'll do it this way, you do it exactly facing that way. We'll move this arm clockwise, and we move the other one counterclockwise. So one is going clockwise, the other is going counterclockwise. This is the same one we did earlier. Yeah, so that's clockwise, that's the same action. That's both the same direction. So we want one going this way, and on the other going the opposite way. Yeah. Yeah. Now see, as you are attempting this at home and it's going, oh wait, that is the moment when the brain is trying to refigure stuff in the neck and shoulders. That is what we want. We do not want to accomplish it, because then there is no new thing happening. There are no neural pathways being made. So let's do that again. This one clockwise and this one counterclockwise. That's the same. That's the same. That's the same. That's what we want you to work on at home. Try to figure out, how can I get this? This is weird. And then you change direction. Now this one goes counterclockwise and this one goes clockwise. Yeah. So again, the attempt at doing it is what we are looking for. We are not looking for actually doing it. Because once you do it, I'll teach you the next level, which you cannot do. The whole point is to get to a place where you are confusing the muscles so that they go, ugh. And that's what takes the tension out of the neck and shoulders. Contradictory roles. One going clockwise, the other going counterclockwise. And then you change direction. Now, after you've done this, it is more effective to do the work with the strap. So, you work with the strap, then you do the engaging, then you do the confusing, and then you redo the work with the strap. You'll find that when you've done this in this 3-stage format, when you're done, you'll feel, oh, I feel more erect, I feel more open, and there's much less tension in my neck and shoulders.